Hey y'all, it's your boy Kyle back again, Factory Town once more, jumping straight in. When we left off last night, I was attempting to utilize compute blocks to evaluate the sum total of fertilizer within two potential outputs on a rail, and then divert my carts according to need. I was unsuccessful in doing that, but I thought some more about what I had been told and thought that maybe I can get a better grasp on how exactly these blocks work and make my system actually work. For now, I'm going to replace this pusher with a splitter. I've unlocked buildings. What have I unlocked? An earth shrine. Oh, you can actually build a shrine. That's very useful. I'm going to put a splitter, so I am collecting resources from both of my lines, and I will do some experimentation to determine how to actually properly utilize these compute blocks. Why is this splitter? Okay, there we go. Oh no, it was fine. I just misunderstood what was happening. Okay. First, what I should probably do is get my Earth Shrine line back going, and then research, I think it was air next, because I need to work on getting my base upgraded. So I'll do that. I'll do the important stuff before I continue with the silly, pointless stuff. Although I will add a nice scaffolding to this so it's not floating. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, this coal deposit is in my way. How rude. Throw that down. Hello, Marmee. How are you on this fine day? Whatever. Okay, so that's there. What I need to do is, this system is currently just outputting nothing. The system is completely full, so I need to re-enable these pushers. Chocolate. Doing pretty well myself. I have a terrible feeling that when I go to look at this network, it's going to be way worse than I think it is currently. What I need to do is over here, I have a receiver, which of course is full. So I need to build another transmitter somewhere. Buildings, that's the section it's under. Build a transmitter. I think I know what I need to do, I just need to do it without wasting my resources. So do that and my mana pipes. Yes, so this entire line is completely filled with crystals. So what I need to do is wire this transmitter into this line and delete the hookup. Alright, so I might have removed one and put it back in my base, which is whatever, but now this should reverse the polarity of this line. Actually, I might have to manually do that. And then I can replace this transmitter with a receiver, but I don't want to do that yet. What I need instead, let me see. I can build another receiver. And hook it up to these barns on this side so it will fill the barns up. Then we'll be all good. I'm going to set it up so its direction is the same as these, so it'll fill up naturally rather than in reverse. Okay, a mana pipe. Okay, so now everything that's in the system should feed its way out. Once I've fed everything out of the system, I can delete the infrastructure. So once this receiver is empty, I can delete that. And once this transmitter is empty, I can delete this and then just trash the whole setup. Okay, now let me go have a look at my air shrine, wherever the hell that is. I know I just, oh, it's over here. So I need air stone. which of course there isn't any nearby. It does not appear. So I'll kind of have to mine it over here, it looks like, and then move it closer to the shrine. I mean, which, to be fair, is fine. I have a look at the system I utilized over here so I can kind of mimic it. I have 4 mines mining. I don't think I needed that many. Yeah, probably not. Seems like I could probably get away with substantially fewer. Let's try using 2 mines and see if that works. Just want to watch my storage for a little bit, see how it goes, see if it starts to run out or not. Currently these are both doing fine. And I probably only need 1 mine for each of these as well, but I'm not going to delete them because why bother right now? Okay, so it's flickering. Yeah, we should be good with only 2. Alright. So get this extra infrastructure. Now, I know how I need to design my other setup. This should keep everything going at a consistent rate. Allow me to make as many crystals as I possibly can until all these are filled. It looks like this whole system is good now. I just need to get these guys into the other barn. Oh no, I've made a mistake. I've made a terrible mistake. There, you face that way for a sec. Okay, you're capable of going now. Please traverse the direction I have instructed you to traverse. No? No? What about that? Okay, so that worked. Okay. Let me delete this, and I can delete all the other stuff. And right now my barns are floating dangerously, but I can't build a scaffold. The terrain is too steep. However, when my barns survive, I can do that for some reason. I can use a regular block. There, now my barns are supported. They won't go sliding down the hillside. Let me delete the receiver, which is empty as well, and clear out the mana pipe. I can go ahead and delete this whole transmitter even. It's not going to let me do out actually exiting this mode. Okay. You get to hear the satisfying blips of deleting the pipe. Okay, so this is all good now. What do I do with this? I guess for now I'll leave it the way it is. I'll still need quite a bit of writing materials in the meantime, and then I'll utilize this system later down the line, but for now I think it's fine to leave it all jammed up. Okay, so this situation over here. There's my air temple, and that's my air stone, and I need 2 mines. Okay, that'll be my 2 mines, and I'll tell them to mine airstone. No, I've done this incorrectly. I only need 1 mine mining airstone. I need mana shards. So that guy I'll do what it's doing right now, but I need this over here. And I guess I'll delete this grain for the time being because it's kind of in the way. So, 2 mines mining the mana shards. And I need them to be on the same level, preferably. Okay. So they can both reach. I'll start mining that. And there's some coal right here. Trying to think how I want to angle all of this, because I'll have airstone coming in from here, and I'll need a refinery. How does the refinery work again? Let me mouse back over here and zoom way out. Just look at everything, and the game loves it. Okay, so it just needs mana power and one mine can support 2 refineries, which is pretty good. So, I need coal. Build another mine over here and pipe the coal. I guess, how do I want to do this? Because I need to make sure that the air temple is still accessible. Which, hilariously enough, I can rotate. Didn't realize that I could do that. I bet I could delete it too, but that would probably be an unwise decision. So, need a magic forge. I guess I'll move the coal this way and then build my magic forges right here. So, magic forge. I have 2 of them. I guess I can put them in line with the other mines. And then they will output into some barns. Just a couple barns. Doesn't need to be that excessive. And I need to set this up this way. Okay, this isn't going to work very naturally, but oh, it's unacceptable. Because I need both barns to be filled by both machines, so what I can do actually, I can build a conveyor out, and then a silo. Silo that will catch all of the goods and then build a conveyor above it, which outputs from the silo and will make sure my barns have equal distribution, or complete distribution. So a grabber, a pusher, and I don't need another pusher, that one's fine. So both of these will be assigned to mana crystals. Alright, so I need to get the coal to this. First let me use chutes to pipe in from these other mines. And I remember from the last situation I need 2 chutes on each mine, so we'll do that. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 1, there's 2. Honestly, that was the wrong way to do it, so I should probably have them in the center rather than just leaving this blank space in the middle. That'll be rather useless. Okay. There we go. I can check Discord if you give me a moment. Log back in. Alright, need a grabber. Nope, not there. That'll do, I guess. Okay. Let me mess with something real quick. Let me get this mine hooked up, and then I'll need to check on something real quick. So, put a silo here, and then you can feed into it from the mine. Using chutes and a grabber. Okay, so now we've got the coal. Need to build over top of this. Output automatically. Let me pause the game real quick so I can use a splitter. Alright. Okay, so now these will start outputting. Oops, these will start outputting some magical mana crystals, and then I can take a moment to mess with the noise gate on my microphone. Editor. Auxiliary audio device. Okay, I slightly modified the noise gate, but I don't know to what extent it's going to benefit things. But hopefully it'll be a little bit less noise I can hear. Something in the background, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's coming out a little bit better. I guess just let me know if I cut out because I don't speak loudly enough. There's my mana crystals. I need to get my airstone. All the way over here. And I need 2 distilleries. I guess I can make that line with make barns to hold that in. To make it level as well, so I'll use stone. Okay, so throw this stuff down. Thank you, Marmy. Throw some barns down. And voila! I can repeat the same system that I have these magic forges, except utilizing distilleries. Not for alcohol, but for magic. Okay. Buildings. All the way to the bottom. A magic elemental refinery. Okay, so do this. Grab a silo. Set these to be air. Then my little Okay, so this will mimic the design. Need to get my airstone over. Probably utilize the same method I did earlier with the silo, the coal. Basically a straight shot, I just have to go. Levels. Alright, is that? Well, that's okay, that's below. I want to go up a little there. Alright, now we can build a silo. And from the pipe into these using the chutes. Maybe change the mic back, I'm cutting out. Yeah, I can hear like, oh no, maybe our neighbors below us are using the shower, that's kind of what it sounds like. Go back. Alright, that's back where the noise gate was. I need a splitter. I put this splitter in a dumb spot, so I'm going to change it. Should have it there, so then my setup input's faster. Tools, no, logistics blocks. Splitter. Okay. Now I get to build my super fun conveyor belt that goes over all this stuff. I've heard it in other streams. I think it is something else. Okay. I'll have to figure out. Maybe it's the diffuser behind me is making a little hiss. If I move, you can see its glowing beauty. I guess I can't tell what it sounds like, so I don't know what I'm trying to modify. Oh geez, this goes a lot higher into the air than I thought. I guess I'll just build a couple of ramps. And then it'll go at lightning speed. Okay, we build. This will be like the base of my ramp. I'll go down there, and then is that at a reasonable level? Nope, I still need to go down. Okay. So let's build the ramp. I can build some supports at the beginning and end of it just to make it look slightly more natural. Alright, now I gotta throw a chute over top. Beautiful. Last but not least, get a grabber, throw this down, and voila. So now we should start seeing airstone enter the system, which is all fine and dandy except I'm going to need mana power. So what I'll do is build my little energy system, and I can copy what I've got going on over here probably. I just have to build them separately and input items into them separately. Although I'm out of purple coins again because I'm actually producing purple crystals, so it's gonna be an issue. Sounds like a light fan in the background. It could be the diffuser. I'll go turn it off and see if it fixes anything. Or it could be the computer itself. I'm realizing the computer is making a reasonable amount of noise. I might be able to fix that. Okay, let me go. So I'll have to lower my own volume slightly. So I don't know what I sound like now, or if that really ends up helping anything. The mic just might be too sensitive. Okay, so that's filling up with airstone. You can still hear me fine. Alright, that's good. I need to build mana systems. So I want 2 mana systems. Let me look at this. Well, I guess this system is going to be backed up because it's not. Okay, so I do probably need. Oh, interesting. These never scale in speed. So yeah, I'll probably want to build 5 per distillery. Let me build some platforms for them. So, yes, this will be my receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the layer where they're at, and then back into the transmitter. It's funny that computer can be heard, but you can't be heard consistently. Yeah. I'm not always the loudest of individuals. I'm not good at projecting my voice. But also I think it has something to do with where the microphone is. And I think I would need a serious upgrade. It does sound better though. Okay, that's good. I did reduce the gain, so That was kind of an artificial way to raise my own personal volume because I couldn't figure out a better way. Hold on. The sound just stopped. Interesting. It seems like that sound just stopped, whatever it was. Wonder if it wouldn't be the radiator, doesn't sound like the radiator. I don't know. Transmitter. Receiver. And rechargers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did just hear that whatever it was, it stopped. But, I mean, I guess it would be a solution. The solution to this is to wait until summer, and then I'll just die of heat because I won't be able to have the air conditioner on. Because if the sound is bad before, holy shit, when that thing is running, it is a fucking nightmare. I need not grabbers, I need pushers. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now I need to actually put mana into these systems, and I can do that right now by having a little transmitter here and throwing a pusher on it. And build mana pipe. So this should allow me to fill up my system without this will let me fill up my system without actually like running it currently. So I'll do this until my system is full. And hopefully it will take a little bit. It's gonna use quite a few crystals to actually fill it up because it has to fill up all of these after it fills up this. And then it has to repeat the process down here. Nope, now I can just hear the walls making random sounds because pipes are expanding and contracting as various temperatures of water flow through them. Exciting. Okay. The system is completely full, but of course it's stopping. So I need to navigate around this. Okay. Now we'll fill up the other system. I guess it could have been neighbor's laundry. Ah, the glories of having an apartment. Click, clack, patty whack. Give the dog a bone. Why is this one line empty? Why is this worse? Add earth booster. What is this? Added an earth booster. Ah. I have to provide it with earth energy, which is not something that I have over here. So instead I just wasted 10 crystals. Alright, let me pause this for a moment so we'll output all of its stuff and then I'll delete it and hopefully get my resources back. Also, let me before I do that, okay, so these systems are now completely jammed and I'm going to delete a bunch of crystals and waste them. Oh well. Okay, so let me delete this transmitter. Delete that. And wire these up so they'll actually start producing things. Okay, so we'll have, let me think. I need to wire these carefully. This should be fine. Okay. So that, when I unpause the game, we should see both of these getting energized, and we are. So we're all good. Perfect. now that this is empty, let me delete it and hopefully get my 10 earth crystals returned and then build a new one. And unpause the game and... alright, it's working. Now I'll go check my base to see if I have 10 earth crystals in it. I do. So that's good. A lot of shit in my base. What else is going on? Is everything else doing what it's supposed to? Why aren't these guys picking up things? Why is this not producing things? Why are there... what happened? Where are all my mana crystals? Why aren't they going into here? What did I do? How did I break this? Uh-oh, that's because I forgot. The mana crystals are prioritized to go here. I did break it. Didn't mean to break it. It's just that this system is more important because it actually lets me build things. So I'm not gonna mess with it. Eventually, someday I can build a dedicated line if I really care. Alright. So this should be filling up. It is. Alright, good. So now we just have to feed both items into the altar. Okay. And then... oh, it needs power, doesn't it? No, it just needs the resources and time. So, how many barns did I have for the other one? I had 6, so that's how many I'll put for this one. Primary issue on this... oh, this one actually only takes gold coins, so that's good. I have plenty of gold coins. Don't cap me. So this should not be limited like the other one was limited. Well, currently it's limited by how much shit I can push through the system, so I guess I'll add another layer. There we go. No, now it's full. So I need 6 barns set up in a way that isn't too stupid. And then we will start collecting tons and tons of crystals, which we can then use for research. Okay, how do I want to place these barns? You know what? I'm gonna flatten some ground. Now I've got a nice barrier created by these chutes, so I can lower the ground without having to worry about lowering too much. Okay. So, 6 barns. Can I fit them all here? 1. I cannot. Guess I could do 2 layers, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I need to be smart about how I do it anyway, because if I'm not, then it's going to be really hard to utilize the crystals. I guess I'll just do a 2-layer system, even though I don't want to. Alright, so... I need this to output at its highest height into a silo. Pushers, which I will disable for now because we're going to do the same thing we did before and feed these to the school. Yeah, let me do it like this. Just because it looks nicer. I'll put a transmitter right here. Buildings. And a transmitter. Universe is going to be so proud. I'm going to do what he finally told me and not build all of the scaffold and let the game place it for me, but he's not even here to see it. How unfortunate. deactivate all of these, except for the one that is forcing it into the mana transmitter. Reconstruct my little setup over here and tell these to research air. I might want to disable this assembly line for the time being because I'll need purple coins, which are currently just being used to do this. Although it's almost full, so I guess I'll let it do its thing. And then by the time I finally figure out the compute blocks, which I am going to attempt to endeavor, it'll probably be full, so it won't matter. Okay, so we're seeing our crystals being output, which is good. I need to actually finish that setup. And the receiver way over here by my schools. And a conveyor belt. Nope. Okay, now the pipe. And I forgot that these are one directional and they will travel in the direction I tell them to go, so I should probably drag it in the correct direction. Holy shit, that's a lot of pipes. 226 pipes. It's yelling at me. Am I completely out of pipes? Did it build the entire line? It built the whole line, but somehow I have exactly 0 pipes, suggesting that... I don't know what it's suggesting. That is a bit of an issue. Yes, all of my shared inventory is empty. It did let me make it though, which is a good sign. So in due time we should start seeing crystals pop out of these. Yes, no, maybe so. What's happening? Okay, there they come. Whee! Alright. What this means, however, though, is that I have an issue that requires resolution. I need to have a consistent output of mana pipes. So, it's time to delete this fun little railcart ride, and it is time to build a dedicated line to assembling mana pipes. Goodbye, fun little mine carts. Goodbye, barn. Goodbye, rail stop. Goodbye, scaffold. Alright. Yes. This is why you don't build your buildings through or your rail lines through buildings, because then when it comes time to delete it, you have to delete the buildings that they're in. Great planning on my part. This is just levels of brilliance that I've never before exhibited. Okay. Goodbye, beautiful little rail stop. Okay. Alright. Almost missed this little rail stop. So I'll delete all of these, which will waste a little bit of resources, but these guys aren't doing anything at this point anyway. So I need to forge again. Producing... It's a magic forge, not a regular forge. Be producing iron plates into a machine shop. Honestly, I can probably disassemble this part of the line. I don't think I'll need this many wagon wheels. So then I don't have to delete as much stuff. So now I've got 2 barns filled with wagon wheels. which will allow me to place an astronomical amount of wagons, and I can build new ones if I need new ones. Machine shop. So this will now go back to making pipes. Steam pipe. Okay. Now the question was, yes, so this barn was feeding the line to here. In fact, this entire forge can be deleted. And so can any of the assembly lines that ran to it. This splitter no longer needs to be a splitter and can just instead be a directional piece. Okay. Get rid of this line, which unfortunately is going to delete a large amount of pipes in the process, but whatever. So, can I actually place the resources that I need to place to do this? No, because they require purple coins and they require... I guess I do have enough mana shards. I do have enough mana shards to do it. I just need purple coins, and there's where we have the issue. So, how's this doing? Still filling up. Still running out of purple coins. How's my purple coin assembly line doing? Where is it? It's over here. Seems backed up. Needs more mana power. So that's my issue. Can also use earth power? Oh, that's probably for making different recipes. Okay, so where is my limiting factor? Presumably it's my recharger setup. Can I stack things and utilize the same framework? If I build my line above my line, will it work without having to scale the infrastructure? Yes, no, maybe so. So if I put this here, and just rebuild this but taller, can I have two systems working at once? We will find out. So throw down another receiver, throw down 6 more rechargers, and build the conveyor. Man, Universe was not wrong when he said that enchanters are mana hogs. Okay, so this appears to be working. But it might not have enough. These are steam pipes, mana pipes. Okay, so it is pushing items through a bit faster. Is it meeting demand? That's the real question. The answer is mostly yes. Is the issue that it needs more items in storage? I don't think so. I think there's still enough crystals in the system. But maybe I could benefit from having more. I guess I need to watch to make sure that this is actually getting anything, and I think I have broken the system. So you cannot stack them directly on top of each other, which is sad. I need to scale this over. So first, to do that, I'll need to delete the receiver until the system has pumped everything out of it. Now this receiver should start picking things up again. No, the whole system is backed up now, because I have broken it. So instead I need to delete that receiver, presumably replace it, and hope that it works. Okay, so now it's working again. These are all empty. Transmitter should still work. Yeah, it does. Okay, and delete this. Now I think about it. Whatever. Better be safe than sorry. Stop trying to be cheeky and just build it in a different location. Okay. So I'll just build it over top of this assembly line, which at this point I'm going to upgrade just for the sake of upgrading, even though I don't think it can utilize the conveyor. But it will probably improve things nonetheless. Especially like this bit right here. There's 3. I'm not going to be able to reach that one down there, but it should be okay. I don't think this is going to have any actual impact on the assembly line speed, but still. It is a need that's not being completely met, so the more the merrier. Okay, but now let's copy this setup. So here's one set, or one side. Now copy its pretty support beams. And over here, same thing. Goodbye, tree. Okay. Throw down another receiver, throw down another transmitter. Grab these guys again. Whoops, I put them in the wrong spot, which is brilliant. I built a nice spot for them and everything, and then I just threw them down in the wrong area. Okay, so this will work. I just have to give it a line. So, pipes, mana pipe. What I can best do... yeah, that's another big issue, is I'm out of mana pipes. I totally forgot about that. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Let me devise a solution to this problem. Namely, that these schools are not going to be able to do their research for quite a while. So, what I'll do is, since their system is probably backed up already anyway, I'll just delete pipe for it. Okay, I guess it isn't completely backed up, which honestly is probably better than the alternative, because then we won't be removing quite so many. And realistically, I only need 100. I can probably afford to delete quite a few. And we'll still have enough feeding into the system. So, now I can delete this transmitter. Turn my pushers on so that the stuff actually goes into storage, and we should be all good. I should have enough pipes to upgrade my purple coins builder, and then, well, actually be able to do stuff. Okay, I now have 104 pipes. Go back over to my mainland, which is somewhere. It is over here. Okay. So this should work, and I need to put a splitter down, because if I put a splitter down, then it'll evenly distribute crystals based on need, so that they'll be constantly restocked. What I might want to do also is add more crystals to the system, so that there's more power in it all at once, but that might be a little more difficult. Am I meeting power needs now? Still no. That's probably because there aren't enough crystals in the system. So, can I get more crystals in here with the amount of pipes I have at my disposal? Let's see, what's the closest thing that has pipes in it. That barn. Don't think that I can build that many pipes. No, I cannot. It is close, but not quite. So, I'm going to delete a few more pipes. I don't need very many more. And hopefully we'll be all good from there. Alright, I have exactly enough at 114. No. I missed where I need to place them. So after a few seconds, I should have enough crystals and— oh no. Oh no! I forgot you can't cross the stream. Okay. I might have to refill. I might have to put a few more air crystals into my system, because I might have used too many. That was hilarious, but also slightly catastrophic. On the plus side, they should all be in my base, so I can just pipe them from my base to the school. Okay, is this too many crystals? Also, it seems like it can't drain the energy from them fast enough, so this could be an interesting solution as well. So perhaps the issue is not that I am not able to produce enough, but partly that I am not able to deliver enough. So if I back up my line a little bit and put the splitter before, now it will divide them evenly. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. It will divide them evenly, and then each line has its own recharger. So this should help things out quite a bit. Okay, so now it is actually meeting capacity, so I'm able to produce shirts faster, sell them faster, make money faster. Everything's faster, and that's what we need, is speed, so I can do things, because purple coins, I think I'm still exceeding what I can produce with the Earth Shrine, but soon. Okay, the output on this is full, which means, so all of my storage is full. Let me rotate this real quick. That means the thing that's using my purple coins is the schools now, yes? Yes, no? I think the answer is yes. Just need to make enough coins. One of them is. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. So we're in the clear now, question mark, I think. This system should be working. Can look back at my mana pipes again. Looks like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. There are enough crystals in the system that it's not an issue. Okay. This part needs to be fixed. Okay. So now these will feed their way into my schools, and hopefully I'll be able to complete research without having to pipe more in. Okay, that's all good. I go back to the actual assembly station, and it is working good. Look at these to see how it's filling up. The answer is nicely. And once the research is complete, then we can start building the... Oh no. I filled up all of my shit barns. They're all completely filled. So this whole nice system that I was going to build with my compute blocks is pointless because I am not using the poop fast enough. What I could do then is this right here, this coal mine, is using coal. What I could do is utilize manure to power my forge instead. Because I plan on producing a lot of pipes, and the cheaper it is, the better. So, first let me finish flattening the ground that I couldn't flatten before. now. It's all good. Well, mostly flat, whatever. So I've got these barns on the ground level. I need to choose how I want to utilize them. First and foremost, I am going to set up a steam generator on one side, because that was what the original plan was. So I'll need water for those. And there we go. Flatten down. It's nice and smooth again. Okay, now I can build steam generators. So these will have an endless supply of water, and once I pipe poop to them, an endless supply of poop. Of course, per usual, I didn't consider how I was going to lay this system out before I built it. So let me delete the steam generator so I can actually build the assembly lines. And then angle my camera in a very precarious angle, and voila. Why is that one only not like outputting them consistently? What happened? That one's full. That one, these two are empty. Did I draw the line in the wrong spot? No. What's the problem? I hit like a graphical entity. Oh, I missed them. That's the issue. Alright, I've unlocked some cool looking things, including magical conveyor belts and crowns. Those sound like things that I should work on building. I can just angle my camera through the ground, and then I can build the last one of these? No. Oh, how did I get it on the one but not on the other? I like don't want to delete an entire barn filled with poop, but I think I'm going to. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Rebuild that and build my steam generators. Okay, so now this will work, and also I will be able to pick up some more poop from my assembly line. Now, this forge, I mean, it's not currently doing anything because it doesn't need to make anything, but I need to get poop to it. So, let me build a metal conveyor belt. Or two. Probably two. Or I can just build a rail, because rails are fun. Magical conveyor. How do I make them? Because I feel like they are going to be something that I will want to make a lot of. I don't actually need to, like, utilize this entire side. I do need to do that. It just has to graze the edge of the barn. It's going to build rail stops. I'm going to have to stop it from building rails. I'll have to delete the rail stops because obviously I don't want that to happen. But now, as long as I make sure my rail stops are placed correctly, I can pull from here, push to here, and now I have a powered forge. Just need to actually have some rail carts on it. Tell them to drive. so I finished my research for air crystals. What I should also do is steam generator. Because now that I have these, I can actually see what the hubbub is all about. Why can I connect to, like, all of these buildings? Can I increase the production of any building because of steam? I can. It only adds a small portion. Do things travel through here? Yes and no. I mean, I guess I'll have it hooked up. Oh no, because I need that. I guess I could I reasonably build a large network that connects all of these together because they... Okay, yeah. If I connect that in multiple points, does it increase the throughput? No, it does not, so that is unnecessary. So by doing this, all these buildings are going somewhat faster, which is cool. What does the air booster do? So this thing that's building pipes, I could make it go faster if I wanted to. Alright, and I'm meeting my poop demand, so I'm able to use poop to power that forge. Perfect. And then obviously these guys are just going to keep cycling around until they have able to empty their resources into this barn, and then they will go and get more, like that one just did, and these two. This one's empty, so it must not have gotten anything. I guess this is relatively empty as well. These are empty. Why are these empty? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I finished my research, so I can clean up this whole setup by the school. Which is good. Like, it didn't waste too much stuff, it doesn't look like. I'll need to worry about the other stuff sooner rather than later, but for now I will wait and upgrade my base first. So let me delete this, and this, and this. Go back to my mana pipe screen and delete the pipes. Alright. That's a thing. Now I'm actually starting to accumulate some purple coins, which means that I can build my magic pipe assembly. So I know you need mana crystals and pipes. So I will build a couple of mines, I guess right next to my base, because why not? And tell them to collect mana shards, which they cannot currently do because there are no mana shards by them. So I will place some using my handy dandy magical farming abilities. Okay, so they're gonna collect some stuff. How do the earth boosters work? Because this could be interesting to mess with. It adds a section for them to have power. So I'm assuming that they get charged. It'll charge and uncharge earth crystals. So I'll need to build a system to do that and also get it over here. So let me build a small system to do that. And a receiver. I'm gonna do it like this. I guess I'll do a couple of receivers. Or rechargers, rather. I don't know how extensive the need is going to be. Then I can use one receiver. To 2 transmitters. So that one goes into each structure. Alright. And a transmitter. There's a pusher. then now I need my mana pipes, which I only have a little bit of, so I gotta be a little careful. I guess I have 200 now that I've recovered the whole system. So, this system is currently full again, so I guess I'll build a transmitter at the end of it. This honestly what I should do is just build transmitters at the end of the assembly lines, let them fill up, and then I can just pipe from them and then delete the pipe once I am done with it. So I'll build one over here as well. Although this will take a long time before it is done because it still has to actually fill up. So let me throw down another transmitter. And honestly, this will be an easy way to get things out of the system once it gets to that point. Alright. So that's doing what it's supposed to do. Why are these backed up? Or not backed up, rather. They just simply cannot produce it fast enough to meet demand. So I guess the question is, do I scale it further? And I think the answer is yes. Add a third one. Because I can afford to let, or even 4, I can afford to let this system kind of go in a ridiculous manner because it doesn't require resources. It requires gold coins, which I have plenty of. So. The splitters are going to result in a less and less resources making it to the end, but that will be fine. I'll have these ones both feed into the one barn instead of doing their little loop around. Okay. They don't have any mana power though, so I'll have to add it from here. But my layout is not designed to be relatively scalable, so that's a bit of an issue. Let me change this one. So, this one will be responsible for getting these first two. Using a splitter right here, I can have it grab from both. Need an extra connector, which I don't need. Okay, so this will supply power to both lines. And then they should join back up without too many problems, and then do a similar thing over here. One there, and use a splitter, and connect it back this way. Okay. Now we should see, oh, so we do have a bit of an issue in that one blocks the other, so I kind of have to go around. Okay, there we go. So now we should start seeing more output in the system, and as a result, we should start also seeing more crystals being made, which is good. Now that I have done that, let me actually add earth crystals to my system that requires them so I can build more mana pipes, and then once that's done, I can work on building my base. So, I have 2 mana transmitters. I'll have one go to each barn. I have to keep an eye on how many pipes this costs. I guess they can share the same return route, that won't be an issue. Now, to get earth crystals into my system. Do I have enough pipes to do this? Yes. Okay, so we should see a slow trickle. And that's not that slow, but honestly it's a good thing. So we'll let these guys flow into the system. They'll get output. They will not get output because my system cannot output currently. Whoops. that's an issue. Okay. Back up my receiver by 1 block so I can actually put grabbers on it. It's interesting that I can build an earth shrine, but I can't build an air shrine. I didn't know that was a thing. I wonder why I can only build one type. So there's my grabbers. Put this down, build a new pipe. And of course now it's broken. Okay, now it should work. Alright, crystals are entering the system. Probably don't need too many more added to it. Just kind of watch it for a sec. Alright, now let me delete it. Okay. My line is backed up because I didn't make a return. Yeah, I did not create a proper return route. I keep forgetting that they cannot directly share the same space. They kind of have to loop around, or else they'll get stuck onto each other. I guess the next question, I might need more earth crystals in this setup than I thought I would, because one side could get jammed, but I guess we'll wait until then. Wait and see what happens. Alright, I need Magical Forge, which also can be powered by poop, so I'm going to do that. One Magical Forge coming right up. So this Magic Forge will be making mana crystals. Alternatively, I can have 2 Magic Forges making mana crystals. So I'm going to do that. Shoots. And I need to add minecarts. I need to modify their route. So they'll need to go uphill, which they don't like doing. But they'll survive. The fuel needs for the for this entire system are going to be relatively astronomical, so I'll probably need to add more carts to it. And by maybe, or by might, I mean definitely will need to. This barn is like in the worst possible spot to feed into the system, but I guess I'll just have it go around that way, and then I don't have to worry about making space for its line, which is an added bonus. Okay, so minecarts will go this way. They'll drop off and they'll rotate around to return to their OG line. I'll do it like this. I'll ramp down and everything will be fine and dandy. Okay, so throw this down. Build my rails. And I have to add a couple of rail stops. And last but not least, add some more minecarts to the system. If I need to, I can connect to more barns if I'm running out of items as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have a lot of minecarts going, because why not? Okay, so they're gonna all kind of bump into each other for a little bit, but they're gonna empty out this barn, which will hopefully refill quickly enough, and they'll go deliver their poop. So this should start making mana crystals, which it can't do anything with currently, but that's the first step. So, next step, I need another I need more magic forges. These ones set to mana pipes. Okay, magic conveyor belts require a regular metal conveyor belt and an air crystal. So I'm going to want to have my air system pipe these in pretty regularly once it finishes. It takes 20 seconds. They sell for advanced gadgets. This is going to be pretty brutal to build, but I'll definitely want to get it done because they're magic conveyor belts, like holy shit. And my system is producing a relatively constant trickle, but whenever I build, it goes down. So the system, I don't know, add an air boost. This is my limiting factor right here, this machine. So I might want to do everything I can to get that going. Should definitely hook it up to Steam. So that'll give it a little bit of boost. Wonder if there is a way to demand that it requests more power. My network fulfillment is still at literally 20 times the amount I'm using, so that's fine. This will increase speed ever so slightly. How do I see from how much does this boost? It adds 100% to it. It's not amazing, but it's still pretty good. But that means I need that means I need to get air crystals over here, so I guess I'll worry about that in a little bit. Because I need mana pipes to do that. Okay, so I need to actually change my setup slightly so that it actually goes and visits the other forges as well. So these will have conveyors up the front. Okay. Now, be providing plenty of poop to all of my forges and actually doing something with the fertilizer that I have, which will hopefully still be sufficient. I do think it'll drain pretty quickly, but once we get my city upgraded and I can build more houses, my demand for the resources that are producing my fertilizer will go up, so the whole system will produce more fertilizer. So hopefully I'm not just completely draining it, but it seems like I'm doing okay right now. It's like, part of it is that these buildings require a lot of fertilizer for fuel, but they also use it pretty quickly. So what I can do now is build rail stops, one in either direction. Okay, so now when it feeds through, it should still drop off everything where it needs it. Okay, so now I need pipes. Got pipes. Just gotta get them going to the right place. So, I can probably feed it to the front of the building. I guess what I should do now is actually build the output line to this barn so that I can complete the cycle, or complete the system and start getting more mana pipes. Metal conveyor here, and it outputs into my barn. Perfect. Next, the input pipe, or input conveyor from my pipes. And I don't think I need 2 lines. 1 line should be sufficient, so I'll build it over top of my iron. If I need another line, I can build more. Grabber, splitter, and we should start seeing this setup do what it's supposed to do. And This will be producing pipes quickly. Hopefully quickly enough to meet demand. I guess we'll find out. These will take a while. I guess the main issue with the current setup is that it doesn't reliably deliver fuel. It's not a constant input or output, which is a bit of an issue. That's going to be a limiting factor because they can only hold so much, so even if they drop everything off, I guess the solution is more minecarts. Okay, so now they're going to bump into each other, but they're going to fill up this with even more. The problem is also, the more minecarts I have, I'm going to have to increase, or I'll have to start drawing from another location because the transfer rate is not high enough. Okay. So, let's pull from this adjacent barn as well. So if there's nothing in the one barn, then they'll be able to pull from the other barn. This needs to be an output. No, that's not what I need. There we go. I guess I could, yeah, this is actually smarter, and I can just do that. There we go. Why are these getting, oh, they're all backed up because of the hill, I forgot about that. I guess it would be wise then to probably raise the whole system. But hopefully after a little while we should start seeing demand being met anyway. Although it does utilize just so much fuel. But I think eventually it'll meet up with this demand. I don't know. I mean, we're producing the pipes, so I guess it's like, it's whatever. How many do I have? I have 38 in storage, oh boy. Eventually this system should work itself out, right? Yes? No? Probably not. I think I'm giving it too much credit. The problem is though, now that it's got minecarts running at it, it's going to be kind of difficult to actually raise it. Yes, are any of them even making it through with fuel left? It doesn't look like it. What I should have done is just built like a barn. Yeah, whatever. It's a bad system, but it's a system. Raise it. Okay, fine, I'll raise it. So what I'm going to want to do then, the whole system's going to be unhappy, but I'll delete these rail stops so they'll stop picking up resources, and then I can delete them without deleting my fertilizer. The benefit of raising it though is I'll be able to have a lot more minecarts in the system, because they won't be bumping into each other. Okay, everyone's empty at this point. So now I can delete all the minecarts. Okay, I have to remember to add it there as well, because that uses fuel. Okay, obviously the parts that are already raised don't need to be modified, so I can leave them. And then honestly, what I should do is I should have it pull from all of the barns, because then I can more properly utilize its distribution. So, everything is being raised. How do I want to do it then? So I want to make sure I have one cart pull from each one. I guess I'll just start by building a platform to work with. But I don't want to make the same mistake that I made before, so let me think. I only need, I can have like a U-turn, so I can have one of these be empty. put conveyor belts on it. Feed out straight. And this is just future-proofing, so I can actually access this later. And I can build some grabbers. And then something that I personally would only mess with, a little switch to turn them on and off. Build a toggle, link it all up. Why is this not? This isn't doing what I thought it would do. It's not turning it off. Okay, what other things? Can be set to an on or off state. Perhaps it is because it is not. Because I am doing it, it doesn't count. It's on. It's off. And I build an agent trigger up here. Link the agent trigger to the toggle, and then turn everything off once the next cart comes through. So now it's on. Now everything is off. Okay, that's really convoluted. Wonder if there's an easier way to do that. Curious. Oh well, got the job done. Okay, so let me build scaffolding. So all of the carts will travel in one direction. In, and then they will pick things up, and then they will travel out. So, I guess let me build the rails first. So the first issue is going to be this one right here because of the way it's structured. I guess the easiest alternative would be to shift over the scaffold. So then it's only, or it's over top of where the grabbers are. Honestly, I should just build this as a full system. So I've got the max output. Yeah, whatever. It'll work for now. I can always pull from other sides later if I need to. Okay, I'm gonna rebuild this scaffold. So now when I build the rail, the priority will not be to go straight. It'll have its own priority set. So now by default, everything wants to go down without visiting anything. Okay, so now I need pushers. And I need rail stops. Now I need to set this up in a way where I have a ton of logic that tells it to oh, these barns are empty now because of it. because I've only pulled from these ones, so now like those barns don't have anything in them. Okay. So, compute blocks. Need a counter. This counter, I'll need 4 agent triggers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one will be tied to a different thing. So offset set to that pusher. Offset is set to this pusher. And that one. And that one. Okay, so next, this counter block. I need a math block, and it will need to be set to greater than or equal, and the value will be 4. This counter block will evaluate itself against against this, and if it is true, then so if it's greater than 4, it'll be true. If it's true, then it'll go to this bool function. I feel like I don't need this way. Oh, okay, this is what I need to do. I need, not that. I need a number block that is set to 0. I need to move it over, actually. Need a logic pusher block and a logic set block and a number block that's set to 0. So this will activate the pusher will activate the 0 will activate the set will set the counter back to 0. Now I need to compare things. So I need more math blocks. So if the counter is equal to, in this case, 0, I think I might have these backwards, yes, so this will be my last one. So if the value is equal to 4, no. Yeah, so I guess I need to set this to 1 by default, and then reset it to 1. This is equal to 3. This is equal to 2. And 1. I need to set these to the correct functions, or else I'll have a bad time. Okay, so this event triggers I might have complicated things, but this might not work the way I thought. Okay, so I need to push logic somewhere in a way that I can evaluate this without messing with it. But then I would need like 4 counters. I might not understand this enough to accomplish my goal. In the meantime, let me just build it. I'm gonna run into problems because it's going to be consuming resources that odd rate, but that's just the name of the game. Because I want to actually get this working, but I want to still keep producing things. Right now, they're going to visit every barn, which is good because if one barn is empty, then the system will still work, but it's not like what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay, let me put down all the scaffold. Now the whole system is on a level ground, so I don't have to worry about trains slowing and speeding up. Paths, rail. I guess also it'll be a little bit easier to test while it's live because I'll have active input from carts passing over the things. Okay, I think I know what to do. I think I've got my logic backwards. So I might have to rework some stuff, but that'll be fine. Logistics blocks, rail stop. Put shit in there. And that was the only one I needed to add to. Okay, so now I'll need lots of minecarts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a lot of minecarts. Forward. Onward to victory. Okay, and there they all go. Look at them, they're beautiful. That's what I call a train. Just gonna wiggle their way around and all get filled with poop. Except this assembly line is gonna be in a sad, sorry state. Let me clear off this line so that I can get an increased production rate of fertilizer. Okay, that's at least doing a thing. So yeah, this system is not ideal. Because now it's just one giant train, which while it is beautiful, I just get bursts of mana pipes based on fuel. So it'll drop it all off, and then everything will be full, and then the rest will all just go back to base. So I guess one solution. So the solution I can do then is actually to change it so all of these feed from silos, and the silos get stocked by the carts. And that'll add enough buffer that hopefully they'll have come back. Okay. Has the disadvantage of having a slower transfer rate, but it will at least work, which is ideal. Okay, and then do the same thing here. Though I'll need to move the chute input. Tools, no, paths, chute. Throw those there, add grabbers to them. Alright, silos. Okay, no, this will still work. I just have to make it one block off the ground so that the mines do not automatically output. I'll need to put grabbers on both pieces. Okay, so the game just lagged really hard and I somehow managed to place a grabber down here. Let me get rid of that and rebuild my rail. Paths, rail. there. Do the same thing with this building. Okay, so now this whole train system should be a bit more useful. Because now it'll actually supply an amount of fertilizer that hopefully will allow my things to keep going while they wait for the rail system or the train to come back. Because yeah, I only used like half of what was in it. Okay. I want to see when this goes through, it should actually cause a bunch of triggers to fire. I guess they're not like linked, so they're not. That's why I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So the only thing these need to do in this regard is cause this counter to go up. So let me watch that. Oh, and I need to actually put rail stops in if I want my silos to do anything. Eventually this will work. Okay. Alright, so it's hard to see what's happening because it's going so quickly, but it is working. And I'll watch these guys all go through and fill up the silo. And it'll take them a few trips to fill up all the silos, but hopefully this will allow me to meet my demands. And subsequently produce illustrious mana pipes. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how to make this evaluate. I guess what I can do is use 4 logic set blocks, 4 number blocks, and then every time this fires, oops, it will push to the logic set blocks. So that this way it will duplicate its value to these. Then I'll actually be able to evaluate things. So, let me delete the coal that's in my way. Now I need 4 math blocks. So the same system I had before. Let me see that this works, more or less. It just kind of flickers around because of how quickly everything's happening. But it'll hopefully work. So, now, tools, no. No, compute blocks, okay. So I need math blocks. And just like before, we'll have them set to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then set to equals. And at this point, I might want to pause the game. So we might see some bizarre situations. I need another logic pusher block. When this updates, it'll push the logic pusher. No. Yes. Logic pusher will push all of these. Each one of these will push these. And then each one of these will push its corresponding gate. This whole process might take so long that I might have to move where the agent triggers search for carts. So I think I'll preemptively do that right now. so that it triggers before it enters the space. Because I want to make sure that it is actually done doing its math before the cards get to where they need to be. So now, okay. Now let's see what happens if they divide or if they don't divide. At least the system is starting to fill up, which is good. Yeah, but this barn is completely empty now. This entire column is consumed 1,000 fertilizer. Okay. So it's kind of working. But we actually have an issue because it's like so jammed. I guess what I should do then, I can probably utilize as many carts, but I want to space them further apart. So allow me to place down 12 carts, each of which is a couple of blocks apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so now we have a ton of carts. They are distributed further apart, so those will hopefully give my system enough time to work so it does not get confused. And then we'll be able to see if it actually works. Okay. Still too close together. And the first one never triggers. So maybe I need to set this to 0. Okay, I guess we'll watch it again. Seems like the first one is active now, which is good. Almost like now they're the perfect distance apart to cause multiple triggers. Okay. Yoink. Okay. It's still just going too fast. Alright, well, it was a nice effort. I think the system has too much stuff going through it. I'm going to trash this and modify the system slightly. Now, I'm only going to have carts go to a rail stop if there is something in it. Because, like, for instance, this barn is empty. Why would I need to send things down there? So, let me put down some inventory sensors. Set them all to be fertilizer. And have their offset set to the barn. And then link them to the pusher. So, theoretically, these, I'll want to turn on all of my pushers right now as well, because it doesn't update if there's no change in the quantity, and right now these all have all of the stuff in them. So, rather than risk it, I'll make them try to go to everything. But now at least carts will only go to barns that have things in them, which again, at this point is just completely useless. Like, why not have them go through all of the barns? Or, here's a better idea. Only have them go through barns that have 100 or more fertilizer in them. That way we can keep the system a little more balanced, so it's not pulling everything from one stop. So now I need math blocks again. So the math blocks will go to the pushers, and I will set them to 100 and select the function greater than or equal to. I suppose as a failsafe I could leave one of these as empty, but I'm not going to. So now, theoretically, if my system has less than 100 in any of these barns, it won't allow me to bring fuel to this. But part of that is important because of my steam generators. They'll need to actually have resources as well. That needs to maintain relative consistency. So now let me hook up the sensors. Don't think I really need to have these set to fertilizer, but I will. Because then it puts a little icon on it and I can make sure I can see what I'm doing. Filter, fertilizer, logic link. Okay. So, now whenever an item enters or exits, they will display. What I need to do then, now, so I guess I'll turn this one off because there's nothing in it. So now, whenever a cart takes or an item gets added, it will reevaluate. And now that this has dropped below 100, it stops accepting carts until it gets back above 100. If I wanted to go real hard, I could use agent triggers to push carts through the pushers that are once they're full, but it's not worth that level of attention to detail. Fortunately though, because of the way this system is set up, I'm not equally distributing my manure to these barns, so they are not restocking very effectively. But honestly, that's fine. Now that everything is running more or less on the whole mana pipe front, eventually we'll start seeing this fill back up. So all of my demand will be met again and I'll be producing more pipes. How's this going? Okay, I have 200 pipes now, plus whatever's left over in my base. It can start. I wanted air production boost. What was it that used air production? It was this. This is the thing that produces the pipes. Might not be necessary. Okay. Yeah, so I built the system. This is also a good way to monitor how full my system is. I am consuming fertilizer at a wildly higher rate than I am producing it. So this is gonna crumble pretty quickly, but yeah, I'm gonna need to get fuel from another source. Okay, well, it was a nice attempt. I guess I'll make rail stop for coal. Okay. So this will gather coal, which costs red coins, and that's what I was trying to avoid. I wanted free energy, but my free energy was too effective. By building this further down, they will utilize the fertilizer before they utilize the coal, which is nice. But any cart that is empty, by the time it passes by this barn, will pick up coal and bring coal, and then any of these which don't have anything in them, which will be probably a lot of them once the fertilizer supplies run out, they'll start dropping off coal. Hopefully one barn is enough to support everything, or mine rather. I guess I can add an earth booster to this, but now that I have more mana pipes I can add to the system. Okay, so that's what I was afraid of, because these systems do not share the same space. Okay. There we go. I need it to be one big loop, so I actually need to change this direction. No. I think mostly I just need more crystals in circulation. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. What did I just do? I canceled it by mistake or something. Okay. So now we should see throughput. And once it feeds my crystals through a bit better, we'll be in a nicer spot. This is set up terribly. I want more earth crystals. So I'm gonna get some, damn it. Here they come. Oh yeah, look at them, they're so beautiful. So this system will recharge everything. And once I throw more crystals into the system, it should have fewer issues. So it's not even feeding to this one currently. Alright, there we go. Now it'll feed to both. The system is nearly full, so I can probably stop pulling. Crystals back. Oh, you're not supposed to be there. Okay. So, now I am actually utilizing this system and its mana boosts. I look at that coal. My system filled back up a little bit. They can pull some fertilizer now. Okay. Well, it sort of works. It's hilarious, at the very least. I can appreciate it for the terrible design that it is. Okay, so now, anything that still has fertilizer in it will not get anything, but these things that don't have fertilizer will start getting coal. Alright, so now we should have more consistent mana pipe output. In which case, do I need... No, I don't need to upgrade this system at all. I don't think so, at least. It seems like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Part of it is this system isn't completely full. Why not? Why are these moving? Ah. So I have inadvertently provided unlimited... Okay, there we go. Now we should see more realistic line setup. Okay. So we're taking as much fertilizer as we can get, but at this point we should, if I check my inventory... That's not it. If I check my inventory, should have a good number of crystals of earth and air. Yes, I have 1200 earth and 1000 air. So now, I should probably construct the things that you need to construct to get them to upgrade my base. So I need crowns and I need necklaces. So I know you need enchanters to build them, but I don't have to build them close to my base necessarily, or close to where they're produced. I guess it's if I have to decide which I value more or less. What's going on here? What's this terrible setup? Delete that. Turn this back on. I don't know why that was the way it was. I'm sure I had a good reason for it at some point, probably, maybe. Okay, this whole setup is doing whatever. Forester is hitting issues, I think. Because all of its trees are dying. It's chopping its trees down too fast, so it needs more trees. I think that's as much as it can reach, but that should help speed up that system. Okay. Yeah, it's running out of trees. How am I doing on... Okay, so I have a mostly filled reinforced plank setup. Not quite. Okay. Still selling shirts. It's doing everything it's supposed to be doing. How's the enchanted shirt setup? Still able to produce. My power system is still working. Selling them as quickly as I can. But that's not as quickly as I can build them. So I should make my system larger. That's not what I wanted. I'm gonna delete this even though it has a ton of stuff in it currently. And now I am going to build 2. But it means I'm going to need more mana crystals. Let me raise it by 1 level so it's on the level of everything else. Okay. That's 6. Now I can also build above the forester, which is a big deal. Is this forester doing fine? I think so. Okay, so now each enchanter will have a leather line feeding into it. Ooh, I need gold for crowns and polished stones for necklaces. Oh, you only need the power though. You don't need the crystal itself for construction. That's interesting. So I can build these setups much closer to my base than originally thought, which is probably going to be a good idea. Okay, magic rope. Now I'll need input from my workshop. Okay, so I need a grabber. 1 grabber. And then a splitter, so that will evenly distribute that. I need output from these. The big issue is going to be power. Give my barn some support because right now it's just floating. Beautiful. Alright. So I guess I'll build, honestly, 2 setups, or will 1 setup be sufficient? I guess I'll build 1 and then watch. Okay. So copy it like we did last time. I'm just going over everything now. Is that 1 or 2 blocks? Okay, it's 2 blocks, so I don't have to worry about what type of scaffold I use. Tree is growing. Okay. Interesting, because it seems like that's not on a tree planter. Tree planter, throw a couple more of these down so I can replace whatever I'm destroying. Okay, so this will hopefully help meet my needs for both magical goods, but also earn me more purple coins, which I desperately need. Or will desperately need, probably. Okay. So, power. A bunch of rechargers. And some pushers. Last but not least, mana pipes. Okay, so I will need to modify this setup a bit and also add more crystals to it. So let me just go ahead and delete everything I've got going on right now. And honestly, I will just pipe them in from my base. So let me build a relatively permanent structure, which is sole purpose is going to be to move crystals from my base. Set it to mana crystals, which I probably have a handful of in here currently. Yes, no, I don't. So that doesn't do me any good. Never mind. Let me build a transmitter over here. I guess I can just pipe them from this existing transmitter. Now that I have enough pipes that I can reasonably do this. Just have to be careful with my construction so I don't intersect with anything that already exists. Okay, so they're going to be added in at a weird point, but it should be fine. Now I have... I need to split this 4 ways. So I need a splitter and then a splitter. So one splitter, go this way and this way. And the next splitter will just be at the point of need. Okay. That was simple enough. Then everything else feed out. Question is, how do I want it to feed out? I guess my order will be this. And then if it's full, it'll just back up and it should be okay. And now it's going to divide them evenly amongst all of the enchanters, and then it will feed them into this system until this system is backed up. Here come my other mana crystals, which are just being pumped at an ungodly rate. And I'll cut it off right there and then watch and see what happens. Because right now I have full crystals mixed with not full crystals. I should use pushers here. There we go. Okay. I'll wait till everything gets into the system and we should be good to go. Alright. Now the question is, am I going to meet my power needs? That's what I'm going to have to see. I just kind of have to watch the system for a little bit. The game overwhelms you and you're not even playing it. I'm sorry, Marmy. It's a lot of fun though. I think part of it is if you haven't played it, you learn a lot of things along the way, so if you're just watching it, it might be overwhelming, but if you play it, you can kind of learn things firsthand and figure it out. Okay, we are meeting our power need, so I can delete this pipe. Very nice. I have to say, I really do like deleting the pipes. Okay, so now we should see more purple coins, but also we'll be selling things better. I have a consistent 11 happiness for most of my things, except for some which only have 10. Yes, the sound effect for deleting things is amazing. By far and away one of the best things in the game. Which seems like a joke, but I'm really serious about it. Okay, so now I'm now my limiting factor is fertilizer, not fertilizer, is my pasture, so I can actually upgrade these. Just something I totally forgot was a thing. But I could also earth boost them. The reason I would want to do this is because then... Okay, so no, now I'm hitting it with this. If I upgrade all of these... Upgrading this isn't going to help me much. If I add energy to this... Now, what could be a really dangerous game? Yeah, sound design is pretty critical. This is going to allow me to produce more fertilizer. But I need to find a way to provide energy. These workshops are actually like... They're doing fine, it's just that this can't handle it. Need more shirts. So what I could do is make a very dangerous decision, and that is I can try to use these recharges to also run power for my other stuff without building another system, but I think that that is too dangerous, so I'm just going to build a system designed for these. Build it over here. However, I can have my earth and air crystals share the same system. That'll be fine. To be careful though, because I don't know where my line is. Okay, so I can build it over here without it intersecting at all. It's ideal. So I'll have a receiver here. 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess 5 chargers. No, let's do 6. 6 rechargers, then the transmitter. So transmitter, a receiver, and some rechargers. So this is going to be a little interesting because I'm going to actually filter. So this will be my out pipe. I have to be careful with the number of items that are in the system, because if I overfill the system, it'll jam up completely. But utilizing the fact that things try to go straight before they go any other direction, I can use a filter to push here we go, filter. No, I want a sorter, that's what it is. A sorter. Oh. I can tell the sorter to push air crystals to the left, and then the earth crystals will continue on. And then it's just a matter of picking the system up. Let's do it this way. If I do it around the back. No, that's not what I want. Whatever, I'll just use pushers. Okay, then back to the transceiver, or the receiver rather. Okay. So now I need to pipe in earth crystals, a handful of them, and air crystals, also a handful of them. Pause the game while I do this. Okay, so I don't have to worry about anything over there. In fact, I can't possibly intersect with it, so that's fine. So we'll watch a few earth crystals come in. That should be enough. Any more than that, and I risk flooding it. So once they make their way in, then we can add the air crystals. They'll feed to the transceiver, For the receiver, okay. Use a splitter to make this a little more fair, quote unquote. So this has to be set up in a way that there are fewer of an elemental crystal than there are track segments to hold that. So in this case, I can only have... I need to redesign this so I can have more air crystals in it, because right now I can only have 5 air crystals in the whole system, which is less than ideal. I would like to have more than that. So if I do this, okay, now I can hold more crystals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can have 9 crystals in the system. So now I can just feed those over and then carefully watch how many get put in. Probably don't need to delete the whole line, so I won't. Okay, there's my transceiver over there. Almost exact. Did I run out of mana pipes again? I did. Oh my good lord. Where are they all going? Because they're not in my base, but then they're not in my shared inventory. I'd actually place that many? Like, seems a little insane. Oh, I totally forgot to count. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These ones are not allowed to come. Okay. Watch the air crystals make their way in. I should honestly change one of these, probably this, to be mana pipes, so I can see how many mana pipes I have at any time. Right now it's 22. Okay, so now there is enough space in the system that my crystals won't back up, and I can supply elemental power to the things. Delete the pipe. And we're all good. If I watch it for a little bit, we should be okay. I'm noticing, though, that we're not meeting the energy demand for this, but we're also not fulfilling its production anyway. Because now I'm not producing enough cotton. And what is limiting cotton production? Just the amount of time. So the only way to improve this would be to build an extra barn, or farm rather. Do I want to do that? I think the answer is yes. Make a little space for it. It's just going to be one little farm right here. I forgot to flatten this part. Flatten down. Okay, there we go. And plant some cotton. Okay. Cotton. So then this, I'll just have it output to, I'll have it spread its output between the two, what are they called? Workshops. Use chutes for this, I don't need to use metal conveyors. Okay, so one for a grabber, and then this one can just do what it needs to do. I need 2 grabbers. And a splitter. Okay, so this should allow a slightly increased production rate. But that's kind of all we really need. these pastures are able to produce goods at an absurd rate, which is nice. And if we look back over here, we're still running into issues with the amount of fertilizer, but that's gonna happen. What's important is just that these are working anyway, which they're not. I need more mines. Okay. Just don't want to spend all these red coins, but I guess I have a ton, so it's not a real concern, I suppose. So now this should work. And I should be able to pull most of my cards. Yeah. It's still not ideal. This one's not hooked up to an earth booster, so I should do that. Why did it... Oh, it's based on my camera angle. I'm like, well, I don't understand what's happening. Okay. So I need to modify this line slightly so that I can have 2. And they'll just feed out the back this way. Alright. Things are going every which way. I guess I'll put a splitter just in case. But I don't feel like it'll be necessary, because I'm not able to utilize all of the power anyway. But now we'll see more coal. Which like is a 100% production boost, which is good, but not like break the bank worthy. Okay, how's this stuff going? Still doing what it's supposed to be doing. I have to refill these barns because I used up all of their stuff. Guess I'll upgrade these conveyors. It's about time. Okay, the schools are currently doing nothing, which is whatever. Next step, actually making my jewelry. So I'll need to build something that can construct it and also find a way to deliver it. It's important to note that my specialty goods store is over here, which is where I will be selling it. But I need to siphon some off first so I can actually upgrade my base and get to level 9, and then I'll be one step away from level 10, and then once I get to level 10, I'll be able to build more buildings and make more things and change my systems that suck, and it'll be great. So, what do I need to build each thing? We'll start with the necklaces. Need 2 iron and 4 polished stones. So, let me flatten out this terrain. These are not meeting they're not meeting demand at this point, which is an issue. I could upgrade them with earth, but that's not really going to help much. What I need to do is add another one. And so that is what I will do. Delete this one, build another one. Delete this, build another mine right here, and throw some chutes down. Stack another layer on top of them. And tell them to collect iron. Honestly, I should set this thing up with an earth setup. I don't know why I wouldn't. There's literally no reason not to. But it's gonna need to be a big one. So, and I'll have it go above this. Or above my silos. Is that good enough? Will that work? Yes. Okay. How large do I want this to be? This might work. Have like 8. Okay, so one receiver in the center, draws from both ends. And then transmitters on the ends to have things enter the system. Or alternatively, I'll just have them feed into one transmitter. Should be okay. Okay, so now the receiver, first things first. Since this is where everything will start. And a receiver, yes. Conveyor belts outwards. And I guess one like this. Because I can't have it going straight or else I'll have a bad time. I'm an idiot, I did this wrong. But this will allow me to expand it slightly, so I will do that. Alright, so then I can use 2 transmitters in the center. It's a little dangerous, but I think it'll work. Buildings. Transmitter. Now I need rechargers. I will borrow from somewhere, because I don't want to look through the menu for them. Rechargers. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so these should be all good now. I'm wondering if I'm going to run into issues because it's covered, or my mines are covered. I guess we'll find out. Logistics blocks, splitters. I need splitters. Oh, I've done this wrong again. Shit. Okay, so I can't have one of these on each, because I need space for grabbers. Oh well. Should still be fine. Alright, now we need mana pipes. So, the receiver. I have to be careful how I lay this out. So it's not connecting to it by default, which is annoying, but I think I can work with that. I think this will still work. Feed into the transceiver. Okay, that should work. Don't want that. I want this. Yes, okay. Now I need to add earth crystals using another massively long pipe. Okay. I did it the wrong direction. Okay. So now we should start seeing earth crystals enter. Yes, here they come. So let's watch, see what happens. Make sure that it actually works. Oh, they're so adorable just watching them fly down their little line. Okay. They're entering the system. They are not connecting to the mines. Why are they not connecting to the mines? Because these mines cannot accept earth crystals. That probably has something to do with it. Should probably pause it while I do this because I want this line to get too backed up. Okay. Now it should be fine. Let me cut this off. Back at the source. And hope that this is enough. In fact, I think it is wildly too many. But it's worth having a lot of full ones in the system. And it's artificially not meeting demand right now because these need to get some base to begin with. Right now they don't have any power, so not like I need to fill their power before they actually will start seeing if it is a sufficient system. How much does it cost to recharge? I think it's still just 10 gold. But I might want to put more crystals into the system. Just a few more. I don't have any. Because I spent some, so I have to wait for this to fill back up. Okay. I guess in that case, I might just want to watch to make sure that this is working, or it's at least helping if it's not working. We'll know for certain if we have some crystals backed up at each point. And I should use splitters. Well. Okay. I do think I need to expand my infrastructure slightly. I don't think this is meeting demand. The issue's not throughput, so that's fine. Let me add 4 more. So not quite. So this will be the original, like, capacity. I think, because I think we're right on the cusp of being sufficient, so this should be good enough. Okay, I'll build some supports to make it look nice. I can't really in all of the spots because there's ore on the ground, but it'll work, more or less. Here, I can do this on this one. It's asymmetrical, oh no. Crisis. Okay, I'll look back at the mana network and see what's happening. I should see hopefully a couple more crystals fly in as well, which might be useful. With the additional infrastructure we should be okay, but I think I need a little bit more wiggle room. So yeah, we'll wait until we get some more crystals. But in order to do that, oh, here they come. Alright, so that's filled up. That's probably enough. So I'll just delete this, but slowly enough that I don't delete the crystal that's in the line. Okay. Missed a few pipes. It's irritating. Okay. Zoom in. Make sure there's always... So one side is like backed up now. Whereas the other one has plenty. Right now one side has more crystals than the other. Which theoretically shouldn't happen, but is happening. So how do I make sure that I distribute my crystals properly? I think I'm going to want to delete these pipes. I have to move my transmitters as well. I might have to change the whole infrastructure, I guess. But wait till everything gets used, and then delete the system. Okay. So, mana pipes. I have my inputs. My inputs will work together instead of against one another. So they'll split and go their different ways. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. Okay. They're not going to necessarily evenly divide themselves amongst their output, or their input though. Guess I can throw splitters on them as well. Okay, so that should divide the crystals both directions. This will divide it further. Now we can feed back into the mana receiver. Want to make sure that I never have dead crystals going on the line, so I gotta be careful with how I set this up. Okay, that should work. Now let's watch. So it's throwing everything around. System is a little clogged, but that's just what's going to happen because I have two lines feeding over the same space, but now we're dividing everything relatively evenly. And after a little while we should see yes, the whole system will back up, which is a good thing, because now power is being distributed as it needs to be distributed in a beautiful array of square purple crystals. Yes! Alright, so these are doing their thing. I'm now meeting my iron needs, which is good. And now I can put my focus elsewhere. So, oh yeah, the whole reason I was over here is because I was gonna build over here. So, I guess I have an iron deposit right here, which I could make use of. So which one of these needed? No, neither of them need iron, so never mind. I don't need to worry about the iron. I'll just delete these trees because they're in my way. Goodbye, trees. Okay, and now let me make sure the ground is flat. It definitely is not. Okay. Need to flatten out this area, and I'll have to artificially build some. Oh wait, no, I do need iron. I'm an idiot. I'm glad I didn't delete it. So if I look back at an enchanter, the rest, they both require iron. It's one of them needs gold and one of them needs polished stones. So I guess I'll build my polished stone one because I've got natural stone deposit as well. How's my coal setup going? Can I add more stress to this system? Probably. I will use the coal from this system to fuel my forges. So, enchanter. I'll probably want a couple of them, because I'll need to fulfill my needs. Where do I put them is the best question. I guess I'll put them here, so that's close enough that they're... okay, yeah. Put them here. They will make, not protection spell books, although that could be valuable as well to make spell books. That's actually worth a lot of gold too. They'll be making necklaces. Takes 6 seconds and a lot of power. To the point where I'm questioning if I even need to. I mean, I guess I did that with my enchanters, but Still not meeting demand because I'm not able to output fast enough. Whatever. Okay, so these will both feed into a barn, which will feed up into that top barn, but only after it has filled. So now I want 2 barns. One barn's the priority barn, which will be this front one, and then this will be the one that outputs up there. Doing it this way, then I can have a stockpile, because I need a stockpile so that I can upgrade my base. Guess I'll build a ramp down from here. It's gonna be annoying. Okay. So there's one side of the conveyor. So I want 2 lines, just because you usually end up needing that much for the throughput. Okay, so now I gotta kind of like do the weird rotate, place, rotate, place. Okay. Second conveyor belt, another grabber. I'll build the other line above this one. We should be all good. I should probably build my logic block before I cover it up. Logistic block, pusher. Okay. So now once I actually begin producing things, this will be all set up and good to go. So first things first, I need forge and stonemason. I need to produce 2... No. I'm like not even sure if I'll reasonably be able to build an infrastructure large enough to produce that many necklaces, but it's probably not required anyway, so I am going to delete one of these preemptively. Okay. So that'll get that job done. So I'm realizing now it's going to take quite a bit of iron. And a lot of stone. But the stone's going to be what kills me. Just because it's annoying to get it all set up. Okay. So, iron ore. It's 1 every 4 seconds. But I need 2 every 4 seconds. Well, I need 1 every 6 seconds, but I can't really do it that way. So, 2. Need forge. 2 forges to be precise. They will take the input directly from there. If I press V, that's not the button I need. They'll take input directly from the mines. It will make iron plates. Okay, so this is going to be doing that. Probably don't need to. Definitely don't need to boost those. What I do need though is coal. So how do I want to deliver the coal? Might just go over the barns. Build a third, or build an additional line out of here. Then go over the barn. Okay, so path, chute, grabber, silo. But instead of building down, like I did with the other ones, this one will just be straight across. Go here. So I can delete this little rock that's depleted anyway. Build my scaffold. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So that's where I need to be. Okay. grab a grabber. Okay. And we're golden. Build a conveyor across. So, am I going to run into issues with this one? I am. Okay. Let's solve this ahead of time by modifying the align. Go straight over the barns and into these. No, it is not going to go into them. It needs to be lower to the ground. Of course. Alright, so another silo to catch the incoming resources. Alright, and then one chute and a second chute. And a splitter for good measures. Where is it? Logistic blocks, splitter. Okay, so we should start seeing some coal come through this assembly line. And I'll want to watch it for, well, I guess this isn't going to give me a good representation as to whether or not I'm meeting demand, because I'm going to be using it faster than normal, because I'm going to be filling the silos. So I'll have to come back and look at it later, but now there's the 2 iron. So I need to deliver the iron to my enchanter. I didn't do this in the most... Well, here, this will work. I can rotate one of these. Do one line, and another line on top of it. This isn't wildly necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. And repeat over here. Now I am utilizing all of this. Okay. So, next I need the stones. And at this point I want to decide if I want to scale it up anyway. I think No, I don't need to right now. So, how much does it take to make a stone? No, you build them at a stonemason. It requires only 1 stone, but it requires 10 seconds, so I need more stonemasons rather than mines. In fact, 2 mines can satisfy this, which is good. Just need to build 2 mines in a place where I like them. Which I guess will be right here, because I think that's level with other stuff from earlier. What's going to be difficult though is feeding it into an... Okay, no, I need 4. So I actually need 3 mines. This is going to be a situation where I can actually properly utilize like half a unit of time. So if I set this to stone, these will be producing 3 stone every 4 seconds. So if you multiply that by 2.5, then you get 6. No, so I'm slightly under. I'll need a 4th mine. That's getting pretty rough, but it can reach. Okay, so there should be enough stone output. I'm producing 4 stone in 4 seconds, so if you multiply that by 2.5, you get 10. Yes. No, I need to multiply it by 1.5. I'm an idiot. Okay, so I guess I can divide this by... No, that's going to be even harder. So I produce 1.5 stones in the amount of time I need. I need 4. So I do only need 3 mines, okay. But what I do need is an infrastructure that can properly deliver this many resources. So what I am going to do is build a barn. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's further down. I'm going to build a barn, yes. Probably right here. And I can use chutes to feed into it. Oh my gosh, the terrain is going to yell at me. Terrain block down. GTFO terrain. Hope I've done this wrong. Of course, that's the output for the barn, so that won't work. Now I've jammed up the whole assembly line because it's broken. Now I need grabbers. Okay, so this will fill up. Then I can pull from it. Now the issue is how many stonemasons do I need? So 4 times 1 2/3. Because that's how... let me get a calculator. 4 times 1, no. 5 divided by 3. I need 7 stonemasons. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I will have to stack them. Wanted to see if I could get away without stacking them, but I don't think I can. I guess I'll put the 7th one on like the lower level, even though it's kind of weird. Oh no, this needs to be flat. I'll lower the terrain. But what I can do now is I can use my lovely friend, or friends rather, the mine carts to deliver stone. So that'll be fun. So build a rail. And some rail stops. And a couple of mine carts. I probably won't need that many. Maybe like 2 per level. Do this. Okay. And I'll just have 2 lines from each feeding in. Alright, now I need to build the next layer on top, which will be a little trickier. But what I can do, because I need a lot of height, so I basically need to build a barn on top of this barn. So I'll do that. But I also need to get things up to that barn. First, we'll build a layer here. That's not what I wanted. Alright. So here's my intermediary barn that we'll take from this barn. And then do the same thing. Now we have a barn on the next level, which will be able to hold stuff. I guess I'll unpause it for now. This will start delivering stone, even though I won't really be able to use it because I don't have any power. But that's the part I'm going to worry about last. So now I can basically copy what I've done here. And honestly, I think I'll build think I'll build 8 stonemasons, because then I can scale up my infrastructure and build another enchanter if I so decide. Alright. Is that correct? Yes, it is. The difficulty with this setup, though, is that I need to get it down back to the level that the enchanter is on. So I'll probably need to use another barn for that. No, I should build the barn farther out, especially if I'm going to build another enchanter. I feel like I am not designing this in a space-friendly way. In fact, I think I've already wildly miscalculated. No, because this produces enough in 10 seconds, so I do need the second layer. It's not right now because I'm not actually producing anything. So, throw a barn, this end in middle level, and then I can go down from there. To delete these herbs because they're in my way, but that's fine. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, barn, put that there. Then I should be able to feed in from all of these. Okay, conveyor, 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 and so on and so forth. Beautiful. Some support for the aesthetic. And then build ramps down. Beautiful. Okay, now I need some grabbers. And once I actually supply this with resources, we should be all good to go. What did I just do? Built things and I didn't where I wanted. Built scaffold where I didn't want scaffold. Okay. Alright. Put all my rail stops in. Grab 2 more minecarts. Repeat the system that we have underneath. Onwards to victory. Okay. Oh, these ones aren't lined up. Oh, look at that. Just look at that flow of resources. It's beautiful. Okay. So, now we need to actually supply this enchanter with an astronomical amount of power. That's going to be the fun part. So, I need... Oh, you know what? Let's build my power structure above the stonemason. Because I might as well. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Minecarts are making me place things in the wrong spot. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. So we'll need a pretty substantial infrastructure to support this network. Question is, how large? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. That'll be 8. I want to say, so this is effectively 1.5, so I might need 12 rechargers. I guess what I can do, I'll just build this system and copy it like usual. Modify this line to be stone so it's more clear where I am building. Okay. Add some support beams. Alright, now I can actually build. So I need some receivers. I'll use 2 receivers and 2 transmitters. And a bunch of rechargers. Oh yeah, look at that. My shared inventory of resources has gone way down for this. So I have a beautiful 16, so I shouldn't have to worry about this at all. Okay, mana pipes. Have each transmitter feed in and feed back. And voila. So now we technically will have 2 systems running side by side, but that should be sufficient. So once the one system fills, it'll fill up the next system. And that might be a little wasteful to have that many earth crystals in the system, but this means I'll be able to scale it up if I decide to do so. Which I might decide to do so. I was like wondering and like, oh, this is gonna be really difficult to scale, but what I could do is I could just build the other enchanter on top of this enchanter, but maybe slide it over 1 block so it can be reached by the pipes. And then just make this line feed up into the one on top, and then kind of reroute the second layer, I guess. So right now we gotta kind of wait for power to come in. Power's our key issue. Watch what's going on. We do have to wait for the one system to become completely jammed before it will feed to the next one. Unless I tell it that it can go around. So I guess I'll do that for now. So now if it doesn't have any space, it'll go to the next line. Except for the empty ones. Okay. So we should start seeing some throughput. Okay, we are using enough power. We're meeting our power needs now. So now the issue is the actual rate of consumption of resources. It might be worth just going ahead and throwing a second line in. It's just going to be how I decide to utilize that line. I think I'll have that one feed directly into the cell barn. Okay, so 3, 1, 2. Now this should be level with all the stuff above it. I should be able to add another enchanter. So I'm going to want to pause it right away before I start doing this, and get its infrastructure set up. Okay, so the line is backed up now, which makes sense. I want to select and delete the mana connectors and the pipes from the transmitters so that I can fill the system without like running into as many issues as I'm currently having. Okay, so now this will do its thing. It'll fill both systems, and once they're both full, I'll go from there. Okay, so this system will feed the top one. Which I guess in this case I can... Well, I'll just pause the game while I'm working. I don't know why I wouldn't just pause the game. Okay, so I don't have a lot of space, or I guess I do, I just have to be careful with how I set it up. So 2 input lines, 2 output lines, and back into the receiver. So that's a complete loop, and that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Careful with the direction I go on this one. Well, delete that connector. Alright. This is proving to be substantially simpler than originally thought. Which is a good thing. It's nice when things are easy. And I'll use a splitter just to make things go a little more smoothly, but it shouldn't really matter. So the bottom system does not currently have enough crystals in it. But the top system is still going to keep inputting because there's space in its storage. So until this is completely full, it's gonna keep going. But that's fine. I don't want there to be any hiccups in this line. And it's not going to overflow, it's just going to fill up this back part. It is going to overflow because I need to have a line that tells it that it can reroute. Okay, so then what I should do is delete this and do that. Okay. So now it won't overflow. Now I need to rebuild this system so that resources are feeding into both setups. So we'll go ahead and delete these assembly lines. And the scaffold. And now I just have to build a new assembly line that goes up higher. It's going to be a little rough to place everything, but it should be fine. Alright. What is the problem? Oh, this ground is... Okay, it's not actually touching the ground. That's the problem. Okay. There's the bottom line. And now I make the top line. Okay. So now we have iron going into the top enchanter. Now I need to reroute this whole system. So of course, after building it all, I'm now going to delete this barn filled with just a shit ton of polished stone. Don't worry, it'll be okay. It's also gonna look a lot nicer too. Well, maybe not with the enchanter stacked on top, but I'm gonna delete this right now and replace it with a nice stone floor while I'm thinking about it, and while I still can. Necklaces. Alright, and then reroute this so it literally matches the setup that's below it. So I have to reverse this assembly line's direction and build a solid line here. Okay. What's your deal? Oh my gosh. Clear off that because it's broken. Okay. So now we have everything, but we don't have power. What's going on? We do have power. No, we don't. Why is it not utilizing the power? You need the power. Take the power. It's there for the taking. What's your problem? Okay. Maybe I just need to delete and replace. Yes. Okay. System's full. That one's gonna keep running. We're gonna keep running till this one's full. Although I think it's just about there. So let me shut off the main line, and then whatever's left in the system will be what enters it. So let's watch to see that this doesn't get completely clogged, because it looks like it wants to. And I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world, but... Okay, and now the one enchanter is full. Its output, it doesn't go anywhere right now, so that's a problem, obviously, but not one that can't be fixed. To delete the line again. I mean, at some point, it's like I should just have a permanent line, but I don't want one. Okay. So now I need to manage the output. Look at all those beautiful purple rocks. Okay, so I can actually turn this around and have it feed out the front. I guess not quite out the front. I do need space I need to build a silo. Why don't I just have it go out the side? That'll work, won't it? I think so. Just have it feed out this back. Oh, wait. It's running directly into the coal, so no, it's not going to work. Okay. So it has to go straight into a silo, otherwise it's going to intersect with the line. The silo will go straight, run into another silo, and then that silo will output into this barn, and life will be fine. Okay. Now we'll actually start selling them once this barn is full, which it is full, so we actually are already selling some. Interestingly enough, we're meeting demand with our shirts, which is good, but also, like, a little irritating. That being said, it will sort itself out once we upgrade, which will happen in the not too distant future after we have built the crown assembly line. We'll be all good. Okay. Now we're actually using this power. If I should check the mana setup, everything is flowing nicely, and we have scaled up the production rate, so I think, yeah, we will actually exhaust the resources, because they're not being produced as fast as they're being used. But that's fine. That's just to eke out a little bit extra. Okay. So I should probably set these lines to be specific items now that we run the risk of it filling up. So magic supplies, jewelry. What else does this accept? So it also accepts gourmet and spell books. So I'll need another line soon. I guess I'll build a gourmet line above the spellbooks, and then I'll just copy the other lines below for the other ones. Okay. So this will be gourmet. This one will be jewelry again, and magic supplies again. Okay. We should be all good on that front. My barn is full of shit. So, what's the issue? Why is it not? Is it just... What did I do now? Why is nothing? These filters apparently don't work the way I thought they worked. Which is amazing. Okay. So instead I'll have a line for every item. I guess this one will be the mana pipeline. This one will be the necklace line. That'll be the shirt line. And this one will be the necklace line. Wherever the hell it is, necklace. Okay. I think I am exhausting, or I am at the limit of what I can really output with this barn, so I thought that this would not cause problems, but it is. So, honestly, the magic, or the mana pipeline, what are they worth? They're advanced gadgets. Okay, so they are fulfilling a different thing than the other things are. Okay. Let me delete this barn that's filled with goods and make these lines, more individualized. So everything has its own line instead of stacked on top of other lines. In which case, I should have this line over here. Because I can, and because it will better utilize my space and free up more quote-unquote valuable space on the back end of the store. That's more difficult, or it's easier to access that part than it is to access this part. And you'll want to utilize the most difficult space first. Conveyor belt. Do this little song and dance again. Okay. I need to grab her. Okay. Now, this one just needs a silo probably to redirect it. Where is it? No, that's under buildings. Of course, you know, I've only picked it up 8,000 times, but silo, that. Oh, the magic one. So one line will go above, one line will go below. Oops. This to go down first. It's got space to do it, so I might as well. Alright, now the line above it. Okay. Tools, no. Logistics blocks, grabber. Okay, so it should be good on this. It should be good now. Alright, so we're selling everything. People are happy, they're buying it. Life is good. We're meeting my demands for my construction. And more importantly, we have 200 necklaces, which means now we need to make crowns. How and where do I want to make crowns? So I still need the iron. We don't seem to be meeting demand. But I only have 2 coal mines, so might as well build some more coal mines. So to do this best, I want to have 2 lines feeding from each one. This space freed up, and this space freed up. Now I can have 2 lines, both of them are getting coal, and we'll be all good. If I really need to, I can boost these as well, but I'm not sure that that'll be necessary, or valuable even. Okay. I can actually still fit some more coal down, so I'll place a couple blocks. Okay. question is, do I add boosters to this? And the answer is probably yes. How jammed up is this system? Can I realistically utilize this infrastructure? Probably not. Let me add the boosters to each of these, because they'll need it anyway. These aren't actually full. Not all of them are anyway. So it seems less that the system can't recharge at all, and it's just that it's not needed. So I can actually probably steal from this system. So I will. Alright, so here's my input. Let's use splitters. Or a splitter. So even though it's not equally distributed, it'll get the job done. Then my output line feeds back to here, and we should be all good. Okay. See how this works. Or if it just runs into issues. Seems like it's okay. Guess we'll find out though. It's gonna depend on which side has. Yeah, I think it'll work, it just needs more crystals in the system, now that I've diverted it so much. Okay. Alright. To build the super fun line again. Honestly, I should just build I should just build a stop point, like halfway in the middle. Here, I can do it right here. To hold earth crystals. That way I have plenty of them, and I can transfer them more easily between systems. So do that there, and then I need a transmitter and a receiver. Okay, oh, not the enchanter. Receiver, throw the receiver down right there, and then transmitter. Some conveyors. Okay, so now I just have to fill this barn up, quote unquote just. To do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull from one of the existing barns. So now we can hook up this pipe to this receiver. Then once that barn is full, we can pull from there, and we'll have a stock of crystals that's closer to the base that I won't need to worry about as much. And then I don't have to have this giant line across the universe. Alright. What's going on here? Because I'm pulling... Oh my gosh, it's pulling out, but then it's refilling the barn. Whoops. Okay. So now we'll see this fill up. I might as well draw from it immediately. I want it to fill up this part of the system, so I'll feed it right into this line, which will back up this end of the system. Okay, so it's already backed up, so that's good. It will slowly feed its way through. That should add an influx of crystals to the whole system overall, which will make it work a little bit more efficiently. So we should be good on that front now. And then hopefully once this feeds in, we'll see a backlog back on the original part unless we are actually not producing enough. I guess now it's time to check. So there's still some rechargers that don't have anything in them, which is a sign that the system can handle more. Okay. So I guess I'll go back to watching. Do I add more crystals? That is the question. The answer is yes. This system by no means efficiently utilizes its stock, but what I can do right now actually is put a blocker right here. So now we'll use the ones from the barn before we use the ones from this system, which will allow it to back up a bit better, since that's the whole purpose. Is to have the whole system have a consistent energy source so that nothing runs out of power. Okay, now the issue is that one receiver can't take this much input, so how do I go about resolving this issue? Answer is probably to build more receivers. So if I put a receiver at either end, will that work? Adding a receiver on both ends also lets me add more, what are they called, rechargers. So I'll probably want to do that as well. I guess I'll trash this one even though it's got stuff in it, just so I can clear up the space. I'm gonna end up deleting a lot of stuff that probably would not be advised to delete, but will end up being deleted anyway. Okay, splitter, need to reverse the direction of the conveyor. And now I need to place back my receivers. So now I need to go back to the mana network and rework it so that it utilizes both. I don't like this camera angle. Okay, so I have to reverse the direction. So now it goes to this receiver, but if it can't go to that receiver, then it goes around the long way and goes to the other receiver. Okay. So now we should start seeing the system back up better, because it's able to handle the flow. Like thinking of it, do I want to just like, okay. System's good, can delete that and that. Let it add those crystals to the network, and we'll be good now. So I now have an Earth Crystal Distributor. And we should be all good now. Should have enough surplus, and we should have enough rechargers that this won't be an issue. How's the barn doing? So I want to make sure I shut off the line feeding into the barn before it actually fills up. Now, if we go back to my base, how much of this stuff ended up in my base? None of it, which means some of the stuff just got destroyed forever. Guess I can delete some of this stuff, clear out these spaces to make room for more crap. Got 132 butter. Gonna go. Might stop back later if you're still on. It might be a good time to get off anyway. I still haven't upgraded the base, but I'm halfway there, and halfway is a good place to be. So I think I'm going to cut the stream off for now. Maybe later come back on. We'll see. Alright. See ya, Marmy. And anyone else, see you around as well. Bye-bye.